Oh, no, no.
Good morning.
We the ones with that real sound.
How we doing? Can I get a kachoya? Previously on KIMBA TV. So, like, does it, if it opens up top, then some sort of bullish retest. But opening down here is also like that, I think would be a funnier one. Because the RTH is a bad high, and so you're kind of combining that with CME. Basically, it's just a matter of, is it going to be reverse psychology or reverse psychology? And if it's up, I think it's reverse psychology. If it's down, I think it's reverse. So, like people would be like, oh shit, it's a bearish gap. It shouldn't close the whole thing. Oh shit, it's actually going to close the whole thing. Let's see if we can get a bullish retest. But all it wants to do is an RTH sweep. Joffrey says you said to ask me on my, did you watch the Saturday stream, Joffrey? I didn't want to make you guys wait until Monday. We did it on Saturday. Did you watch it? Anytime that you miss a stream, make sure you get caught up, okay? Usually I will exceed expectations, Joffrey. Get used to it. Let's get it! Yeah, you want it on Monday? Shit, I'll do it on Saturday, you dig? But yeah, did you watch it, Joffrey? Any questions? Joker, you good? Colin says, hey, Kimba, I nerded out the whole weekend on those things that you wrote down and most of the time on the auction market theory. My question is, why do you look at most of the time for failed auctions but not acceptance? I do, Colin. Yeah, you probably just don't have big enough sample size. Yeah, but watch me for like 6 months. It's about 50-50. Alrighty. Yeah, so it's Joffrey. What we always talk about here is it doesn't matter if you know about DOT. You will always be a losing trader if you can't outcompete. So if you were here at the end of the stream and all you didn't bother to rewind and watch it on Saturday, you already lost. So that's what I want you to get better at. Forget about the technical analysis. Forget about the math and the probabilities. I want you to seize the opportunity. You didn't have to wait until right now to figure out what we think about DOT. You could have just rewounded the stream on Saturday. All right. So every opportunity that you can utilize, I want you to. Sounds good? Because the guy that watched it on Saturday is ahead of you right now. Alrighty. Let's go, Joker. 21 slippage says, I missed everything and I want to short. Which levels to look at? I wouldn't short if I were you. 21 slippage. What I would do is I would get caught up on the last 2 weeks. Because for you to be talking about shorting, I don't think you were paying attention to anything that I said last week. Alrighty, so try to get caught up. I wouldn't short anything until maybe 130, 135. Yeah. So at least listen to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. JV says, did you got into head short? Not yet. No, not yet. I probably won't. JV, I don't know if you remember last week, but I don't think I'm head shorting until 130. Yeah, maybe 125. But I think I'm good on Bitcoin. Like I said, I think we're on cruise control on Bitcoin. The levels that I would look for on a pullback is 117. You said ask me on Monday. Yeah, I mean, you can ask me again, but I want you to at least watch what I talked about on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, don't you want to listen to what I said on Saturday? That's what I'm trying to get at is, I could tell you what the TA is, but don't you want to learn, Joffrey? It's up to you. I mean, this is a great opportunity for you to kind of figure out what the competitive landscape is. So, all right. Yeah, it's all about, you know, how do you understand who you're competing against? I feel like you're doing bare minimum work. You won't win like that. Do you know who you're competing against? So that's what I would want you to be aware of, Joffrey. All right, think about everything that we talked about last week. 21 Slippage says, I wasn't around and now I'm sidelined. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get caught up, get caught up. Sunny Kumba says, bro, last Friday you trying to short on 109, 106. Yes, do you remember why, Sunny? Yep, I think we made, I don't know, 50K or whatever, and we gave it away. Were you here, Sunny? Make sure you're caught up, Sunny. Yep. I feel like you missed on a lot of highlights. But hopefully you got all the longs that we everybody took. Yes? You good, Sonny? Kachaya! Wise Tiger says, I would love to see a pullback to buy more at 115. Everybody is looking at 115 though, so the best you're gonna get is the imbalance probably at 117. J6 says, could you please remind how many underwater shorts left? The underwater shorts really haven't changed. It's still about 20 billion for the last 6 months. Yeah, nothing has really changed. Underwater shorts are still, it's been more than 10 billion since March. So yeah, none of them really have stopped out. So I'm assuming maybe like 125 to 130 should be like a really nice short squeeze. Yeah, still the shorts are still all underwater. 21 Slippage says, I'm sitting on hands right now to gather data to build a plan and watching, but KIMBA watching $39 million houses. Let me close this bitch, man. Yeah, I told you it's baby girl's birthday this week. Huh? I have transcended above jewelry and purses. You feel me? Time to start gifting houses, you dig? Wrong person says, Kimba, would you take as confluence the bullish 618 fib retest from VWAP bounce if you would want to chase along? Sure. Yeah, but I think this is what I would say, wrong person. Like, there's a lot of weekend longers that are late that will get punished. Everybody that are juicing right now from longing over the weekend, not longing on Tuesday like we were doing, right? Not longing on Tuesday like we were getting ready to, not longing Bugatti dealership like we did. I mean, there's motherfuckers that instead, like we were trying to long this, right? We got that long.
KIMBA did it again.
There's motherfuckers looking for longs here right now.
Got filled at the Bugatti. Fib rotation deep chart.
They're all gonna get punished at some point. So, stop the music. Red Hair Shank says, what's the best way to trade all-time high on BTC? Take a look at previous all-time highs and try to extract value. Human beings are pretty habitual monkeys, Red Hair. We do the same thing over and over and over. So what I would probably suggest is if this is your first all-time high moment, take a look at what it did previously. Yep. And the other thing too that I would really want you to understand, Red Hair, is the ability to be innovative and outcompete somebody when you think about things like that is what truly separates the winners and the losers. You could ask me what's the best way to trade all-time high. But there might be somebody out there in the world that doesn't necessarily need to ask me. They're able to think of the things that I'm going to say. Like, maybe you should take a look at previous all-time high and see what kind of patterns you can see. So you always want to be able to internally think about what can I do without having somebody else tell me. If you ask me, I'm always going to tell you, but if there's even one person on this planet that thought of that same question, but they came up with some things that they can use on their own, you know, you don't want to lose to people like that. So I would definitely always say, look at what we did before, you know, and try to see what it is that you might be able to pick up on. All right. Did you already do like the fractal thing with me, red hair? Do you remember the fractal thing that we did, my guy? Think about the fractal thing we did. This one. Real says, no, I didn't. Yeah, so stuff like this. Fractals. Yeah, I mean, the best way would be to just get caught up. I mean, we've literally exhausted everything that we could talk about. Elliott wave, Fibonacci extensions, fractals, time extensions. We've already done all of that. So it's all in the highlights, red hair. You know, obviously, you don't want to miss out on stuff like this. Well, if it is your first or second one, I would always encourage you guys to go to Daily Candles, Google the previous CPI days. There's a CPI every month. It's called the Consumer Price Index. It's basically like a really, really, really dumbed down version of like what regular people are paying for what to basically live and survive. Rent, the cost of milk, how much bread costs, how much, you know, the average this, average that, which is usually followed by the producer price index, which is basically the manufacturing or the business side. So you've got the consumer side and you've got the producer side. Sometimes you have the PPI come out first. But most of the time, the consumer price index is what comes out first. These numbers, just like GDP and PCE, they are used to gauge inflation and the overall strength of the economy. Jerome Powell will then use that data to determine if he should continue to keep the rates the same or increase or decrease them. Everybody type "let's juice" if you with me. Colin says, do you trade those news days? Yes and no. I prefer that I'm in a trade already, Colin, so that if I'm wrong, all that really happens is I get stopped out and profit. I don't really like to get into a position on days like that unless I really have to, because I'm not in a position already. Blink John says, many great trades over CPI. I believe so too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. JF Petit, let's go. Astro, let's go. Zaha says, I am good, bro. Fantastic. Tershad says, no, I'm actually keeping up with the levels and how you're finding them. That's awesome, Tershad. Yeah, so first level coming up is the single print right here. I don't think that's a worthy support level, but we'll find out. And then the next level beyond the single print after that would be what? The settlement, the RTH all-time high, the value area high, right? So that's going to be an area where a lot of people are going to try to long. All right? So I think that's a little bit too overcrowded. I think you would actually lose value. So for me, you know, an SFP of like 117 on CME seems like the most logical, you know, long that maybe I would want to try to attempt either today or tomorrow. If the 117 long doesn't work, then it would be the 114 gap fill. And if the 114 gap fill doesn't work, then really the last level that bulls would, you know, have would be the 111, in my opinion. So 117, 114, 111. Boom, boom, boom. Right? And then I'm not going to just randomly guess if it's going to be a level that it's going to hold or not. I'm going to look for hidden CVD divergence, open interest, and then ultimately I want to see S&P confluence. I won't really care too much about structure. Obviously, swing fail pattern of a poor low is like the most obvious thing. And then, like I said, the biggest curveball is, does it do it during RTH or does it during Macaulay when CME ETH will be paused as well? And that's it. Let's juice. Obviously, you've been around long enough, so you know that this game isn't about predicting the future. I certainly can't do it. Nobody can do it, right? And we can't time anything. But sort of the mathematical levels that you're going to be looking for would be like 125, 130. Really, depending on if you're going to go logarithmic or linear, you could even kind of say 130 to 137 is kind of like your local top target. And so you didn't do anything wrong, Baratinha, you know, but as long as you have those levels, you know, you're good. Yeah. But let's see what happens around like the 118 settlement zone, and then where I like is 117. Math. Space Cash, what's going on? Hello, took a long break, but I'm back. Hey, brother, you always have a home here. Kimba Gang, let's get it. Kimba Gang forever. Let's go. Exclamation BTCC Space Cash. You're probably gonna win if you're signed up. We can trade traditional markets. So if I take a position, we'll do it live. So we're starting to. I can't. It's too low volume. But exclamation BTCC giveaway, exclamation 2-bit giveaway today. And every day we're going to give away at least $5,000 Space Cash. So be ready for that, okay? Exclamation 2-bit, exclamation BTCC. Make sure you're caught up on the highlights. All right, Space Cash. On the higher time frame, bullish. And have been for the whole year. We're not shaving anything on the longs until we get into the 130s. Anytime that we feel like maybe we should be shaving a little bit, TPing a little bit on the longs, we're head shorting. Any short really is like a hedge short. 130, yeah, around somewhere around there. I'm not saying that we're gonna go there today, Space Cash. As always, Space Cash, we have levels to the upside and levels to the downside. So levels to the upside, you know, 125, 130, 135, 137. Those are Fibonacci extensions. Okay, and maybe sprinkled in confluence with like Elliott wave or whatever. All right. To the downside, you have the poor low at 117, you've got the gap at 114, and then you've got the RTH imbalance at around 111. Okay? Let's get nasty on them. And I would definitely recommend rewinding today's stream and just getting caught up on everything that we've talked about. Okay? Go click this, start this from the beginning, get caught up, and then let's get ready to juice. It's CPI tomorrow, Space Cash. Let's go. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's get a little urgency. Let's get a little pep in our step, Space Cash. let's get caught the fuck up and let's get ready to juice. Okay? Because, I mean, even like a 117 move to like 130 or 125 is still juicy Maguchi, isn't it? What you expect tomorrow, up or down? Well, so Bissell, this is what we like to do. We don't really like to try and predict the future and say, hey, I'm going to expect it to go up or down. What I can tell you is, based off of the way that open interest is stacked, tomorrow it could be one of those CPIs that we've seen many, many times before where the initial move is false. So I would actually like, and we actually talked about this 6 hours ago, 5 hours ago, towards the beginning of the stream. You can, and by the way, exclamation YouTube, Bissell. I share a lot of free tools, and every single day's live stream is here, so you can listen to the whole thing, or the highlights go up towards the end of the day as well. So exclamation YouTube. But Bissell, I can't predict what and when it's going to do certain things. All I know is that is primed, and that is a weak and poor low that should get cleaned. So some sort of think, you know, really all the way through here is fair game, I feel like. At the end of the day, you need to get back above here. So you can go all the way into here. As long as you get back above here, then the bullishness is still on. Bissell. So I don't know what it's going to do, but I have an idea of where I would want to long if it dumps. And if it pumps, then the next place that I would maybe head short would be like 125 or 130 or 137. So I've got levels to the upside, levels to the downside. To the downside, I have 117, right? With the 114 gap and the 111. So I'm ready if it dumps, and I'm ready if it pumps, Bissell. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That being said, I want to be really opportunistic and try to get into longs at 117 and 114. So Bissell, now that we understand that's a level of interest, or that's a level of interest, what we're really going to be doing is looking at stuff like open interest and CVD to have us, you know, make decisions based off of like actual data. It looks bullish if there's a CVD bull div, if S&P looks bullish, if you know, if it's an SFP of the clean level, then, you know. And the other thing that we were talking about is what happens if we clean that during Macaulay and ETH. So traditional markets are going to close in 35 minutes. There's 15 minutes additional when RTH will settle, and then it'll be ETH and Macaulay Culkin time. CME is going to pause, right? And then there could be a gap. There might not be. So every single hour, there's going to be a way that you can continuously add or subtract the chances of it going higher or lower, Bissell. So yeah, level by level. We don't even have to go out that far and try to predict. Jose, let's go. But yeah, that being said, I think the really easy play, Bissell, would be a 117 SFP, a 114 or a 111 bullish retest. And then beyond 111, it's probably not that great for longs anymore. Beyond that, that's the RTH imbalance that we corrected. So yeah, man. But right now though, this is like basic fib. So it went. Okay, it pulled back. The fuck? Whoa. Shh. Pulling back. The first bounce. The second one is going to look something like this. There could be a bearish retest for lower. So, like this. We're waiting to see if this is going to make a lower low. And for this guy, we're going to see if it makes a higher high. Because then you've got this again. So it's simple. Now you just got to be patient with it. Let's get nasty on him, boy. Spicy taco. Aurum, let's go. I saw you earlier today. How you doing, Aurum? Love you, big dog. Happy Monday. CPI on Tuesday, motherfucker. Usually we get that shit on Wednesday, so we gotta wake the fuck up. That's what we gotta do.
One thing my trainer, he told me, he said,
Benso says, will you be streaming at 8:30 when CPI is out? Yeah, I'm gonna. So I'm on the West Coast, so it'll be 5:30 my time. I'll try to show up around 5. Benso. Yeah, and you said that this was your first CPI, right? So you don't really understand when I say the initial move is debate. The initial move is false, okay? I don't really want you to try to get crazy with it and try to trade this shit. You don't need to do that. But pay attention to the price action. If it dumps first at 8:30, it'll be really interesting to see if there's a chance of a reversal, okay? If it pumps at 8:30, it'll be interesting to see if there's a chance of a reversal, okay? So, and that doesn't necessarily need to happen within the first hour. It could happen after market close, okay? There's a couple of examples of that as well. So there's different variations, obviously, of, bullish or bearish reactions to it. So Kosar says, I have no idea what to do with CPI, so I'm waiting for tomorrow's stream. Sounds good. Yeah, do you know what I'm waiting for right now, Kosar? I'm counting down the RTH to see if it does a bullish retest at RTH, the value area high, the settlement, the value area low, or the no, I clean. I would love it if it did it in the next 30 minutes, but I guess it's going to be for tomorrow. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Watch it just bing bong ding dong from 7.5 to 6.18, from 6.18 to 8.86, from 8.86 to 7.5, 7.86, like bing bong ding dong until tomorrow, and then boom, boom. Chab Superstar says, when you say below 111 is no good for longs anymore, 108 would not be a good level. It's probably a little bit more bearish for me, Chab. So this is the way that I would look at it, and what I would say is try it out yourself. So now the way that I would look at it, brother, is this is retail arena. Can I tell you something? Let's say it goes to 137. Bro, if it does some goofy and like ding, dang, 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 oh my God, bro. Yeah, so this would be retail arena for me now. This would be retail arena for me now.
Bitcoin is going to zero. Zero.
I bet it does that, like during like the bear market. Yeah, cause then Chab Superstar, I would be thinking, oh, retail arena is back in play. Yeah, and then I would pull like the whole fixed range volume profile, and I would just try to take a look at where value area high is, and tell me where value area high is. So yeah, let's take it one step at a time. For now, we've got level to the upside, which is 125, and the level to the downside is around 116.6. So, and there's 26 minutes of US market time on a Monday. And then tomorrow is CPI. So let's just take it day by day, level by level. You good, 21? Hey, Giovanni, thank you for the resub. You good? I am lag says, I think the big question is when alt's decoupling from BTC? Probably when Bitcoin hits like 130. Usually Bitcoin will hit like all-time high, and then it'll kind of crab around, and then that's when altcoins really go. So probably like around somewhere between 125 and 137, 135, I don't know. Alrighty. Jermaine. What's going on, Jermaine? Did you already cover Ethereum today? No, but nothing has really changed. So what I'm looking at, first things first, is always going to be ETHBTC. So I'm kind of paying attention to this. So there's a couple of things like structure and retest that I need to see, because let's just delete all this nonsense and the fibs and all this, you know? Like I've seen this before. Here, you know, and they all could not make a structure change. So I think ETHBTC is still ass, but that being said, here we are on ETH. So you still haven't had a daily candle close above 3,000. Kind of a concern, isn't it? Looks like a 3 drives. So I still think 26 hundo could be interesting. 23 hundo could be interesting. 18 hundo could be interesting. ETH is kind of garbage. What do you think, Jermaine? Hey, Piyush, what's going on? Exclamation, welcome. Sol is right here. So Sol is just fibbing. 886, 75786. You know what a deal. 21 slippage says, so you bearish on ETH? No, I think it's better to wait to take a long. Obviously, individualistically, some people are going to be better at remembering stuff than others. I think taking notes is a great start. You're going to see things like 7.5 to 0.5. You're going to see things like 886 to 618. You're going to see things like value area low to value area high. You're going to see things like swing fail patterns. You're going to see things like bounce off of the golden pocket, the first one. The second one, it breaks. And you're going to see if there is some sort of bearish retest opportunity, right? And whenever people take the short here or take the short here, they usually use this local top as an invalidation. You also know that it could be a failed auction. And so you should know that you want to get into a long before the VWAP, ideally if you're a bullish person. So you're going to pull the fib from here to here, and you're going to understand that if it turns the golden pocket into support, you've got a good shot of making a higher high, which means that you're going to be above VWAP. So that's how you start to get into longs before actually waiting for something like this. You can have an entry here, knowing that it could do a bullish retest, and so you don't want to get in at the VWAP. So that's the kind of pattern recognition that I think people are talking about. And you can use it, like let's say, for example, you're in a short. You can use stuff like that to save yourself or make yourself more money. You could be bullish, and you can use stuff like that to save yourself or make yourself more money. So you've got mathematical patterns call in. You've got things like, above VWAP, bullish, below VWAP, bearish. Single print, grab and go. Yeah, and if you pay attention enough, call in. I call these out all the time. People, your brothers and sisters will call them out all the time. So you'll see it together live. Latero, BTCC, and 2-bit giveaway tomorrow, all right? Be ready. Costa, let's go. Yorita, let's go. Have a great night, y'all. What a great way to start the week. Great start to the week, ladies and gentlemen. CPI tomorrow. Lock in now. Yeah.
Stop moving. I'd wanna be here with you.
You know what it is. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Love you guys. Have a great night. Stay safe. Don't get too caught up. Make sure you get good rest. CPI is an hour before U.S. market opens. So I'll see you guys around 8 o'clock Eastern. Sounds good? Love you guys, man. Have a great night. Peace, everybody. Can I get a ka-cha?